Welcome back to Making It Awkward. I'm your co-host, Jessica Wilson.
And your other co-host, Wilson.
And today we are bringing you...
election reflections.
Excellent. Dad.
Yes.
Were you surprised by the election results?
Yes, I was.
Same. What are 3 things that you think went wrong here?
A woman candidate, for one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how you dice it or whatever. There are a bunch of men and women, mostly men, who do not want to see a woman president of this country.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It can be the most liberal person or the moderate person. No.
Some people.
It's just not going to happen.
Okay.
Because here again, they look at who they're dealing with. I mean, more of your leaders of other big countries.
Some of them.
A lot of them have.
Most of them, yeah.
Most of them have been.
Yeah.
They see a woman as weaker than. They still see a woman as weaker than men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your second one?
Still don't know why so many minorities supported a man who is declared himself as a racist.
Sure.
I mean, he is. I mean, he is a racist. Majority of his supporters are racist.
Okay.
So how can you bring yourself as a non-white into a pool of people who are racist? I mean, I should be able to go to Klan meetings, right? Oh, yeah, I believe in you, Klan. So, yeah, they still don't want my black ass over there, even though if I believe in them.
There you are.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example, Dad.
So
the Klan still wouldn't want me.
No, even if I went up there, if I made my own sheet and everything and put a cross out there, boy, and say, hey, man, rah, Klan. If I went to a meeting, them fuckers hang my ass.
I agree.
So how in the world can these minorities support a human being that is proclaimed, and all of his supporters have complained themselves, have shown themselves as racist. How is that possible?
I think that's a perfect example then. Yeah. And third one? And
that just relates to the third question of, there are just plain mean white people in this country. There are a lot of just mean, insecure. It is mainly from insecurity. They're always fighting amongst other white people. Mm-hmm. Because they're so insecure. I mean, man, come on, my neighbor's got more than I do, or whatever. But they're fighting amongst themselves. So when a minority aspires or even exists, he's a threat.
I mean,
I don't like. It comes to I don't like him because here again, he's not white. But you're fighting amongst yourselves. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's just this white insecurity.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to ask me about my 3?
Yeah. I
think the campaign didn't listen and didn't adjust. I think that the campaign that they were running initially was Biden's campaign. I don't think that they let Kamala Harris put enough space or distance or change difference between her and Biden. I don't think they distinguished her as a candidate in and of herself so that she was able to be elected, because people didn't like Biden. The reason they didn't want him to be a candidate was because nobody liked him. But she didn't come out saying he's unlikable and I'm going to be nothing like him. Mm-hmm. I think that was not great. I think that every time I was listening to voters being asked why they're voting for Trump, every time they said the economy. Every time they said the economy. My groceries, my gas, all of these things, inflation. So, not saying anything about how the economy sucked under Biden, I think the Harris campaign made a mistake. Trump voters were telling them what they were voting based on, and there didn't seem to be an adjustment there. Second, I will say we underestimated how little people value a shared humanity. Yeah. Just again, with your individualism. I really feel like the country, or at least more progressive or liberal voters, really expected a lot more from millions of people to actually value a shared humanity. And I mean, things of October 7th, over a year ago really showed us that a shared humanity is hard. But I think with somebody like you said, who is such a trash human being, we expected people to not suck so much. There are people who suck a lot. Mm-hmm. I did not think those people would outnumber the people who voted for Kamala Harris. Right. The popular vote really got me. And I think a lot of this goes to the draw also of the American dream. So similar to what you were saying, I think a lot of Black and brown people are waiting to be white.
Apparently.
I feel like
wishing or waiting.
Right, waiting. Like Trump is the way that I am going to be rid of the burden of oppression. I will have all of the money. I will be friends with rich white people. My life will be easier. Is that the American dream? I feel like that has got to be, that it can't just be the price of groceries. There's got to be something that is a greater promise that you are reaching towards. Otherwise, you'd be able to say, do I want a racist, transphobic, homophobic president who treats all humans like puppets, like to be a president? Yeah, I just feel like wanting to be white and has got to be a promise that was made that I just like fully missed.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
That is a point, boy. I mean, I want to see my life in the way that Trump preaches.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think having a Black woman as a president just didn't portray, didn't give that kind of energy. If folks hadn't seen themselves as president themselves, or just was reinforcing the idea that other minorities, which I've heard, are getting more attention than some, or however the story goes. Yeah. Yes. Those are just three. Okay. Yeah. We'll end there.
There's a bunch more, but those are...
Yeah, right. Well, those are just three.
Try to highlight the three.
Dad, does this campaign compare to any other presidential campaigns?
Not a one. They were similar, but nothing's ever been this direct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like...
Open up, like, fuck, just screw everybody else.
Got it.
Yeah, there's never been, Ronald Reagan was the closest one. What was his name? Lee Atwater, I think it was his undercover, like, hey buddy, you go down there and you start all of this crap, this racist crap, and benefit from it. It's more like, what was his name? Governor of Alabama. What was his name? Wallace? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, same thing. The boy was another open racist, but they want to see. But Lee Atwater was that was Reagan's henchman.
Okay.
To go to each individual state and here again stir up the racial end of it, and it was. And Reagan won because of that. Nixon, all won because of it.
I was asking a Black friend of mine, if this felt like 2016 or 2004 when Bush was reelected and that was trash. And she said, no, it feels like 1984 when Reagan was reelected, how the Black women in her family and who she saw were wearing black and very distraught and very distressed, and knowing that like white women they knew had voted Reagan. Yep. And just... that devastation, all of it.
Lee Atwater was his name. And that was, like I said, that was Reagan's henchman.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is new.
Never heard of him?
No. Turns out he wasn't in our history books. Shocking.
He was not in what history books?
U.S. history books. I know. Your shock is interesting, Dad. Wow. I am glad you're shocked. I'm sure that he is not going to be in history books for a very long time. What will you be paying attention to in the first year?
First year is going to be world security, world condition, country condition. We've got a president now who is good friends with everybody, each country that's causing the destruction. Israel, Netanyahu, causing more. Netanyahu's position is that apparently he just wants to kill all. He just want to eliminate all the Muslims. I do believe that is him. I want to kill them all. Women, children.
Oh, yes.
He doesn't give a shit. I want to kill them all.
And
the same thing with Putin he doesn't give a shit about the people of Ukraine. He wants the territory of Ukraine. He doesn't give a crap. Just give me the territory. I don't give a damn about the people living there. That seems to be his mode. I want that space. Yeah. And Netanyahu wants to eliminate all Muslims. Yeah. I don't care if it's Iran. He wants to. So what? And he eliminates that. Whatever. Then it's all. He eliminates it and keeps it eliminated. Keeps it open. That's his whole idea. That will eliminate all threat. If I kill all of them, and then eliminates all threat.
Gotcha.
Putin wants territory. Then Netanyahu wants space. Yep. He wants no more threats.
Got it.
So the only way you can get rid of the threats is kill all of Muslims. And then you can even go back to China and Taiwan. China and Taiwan is that's been a friction point now for how many years?
Decades.
Yeah, a long time. And here again, and Trump and his policymakers have no experience. They have nothing. No, and people with experience is not going to work for them. So they're going to get a bunch of old green. Yeah, they don't have advisors. They don't have decent advisors. Who was his chief of staff? The lady who was his campaign man. How the hell you work that shit out? I don't know.
How did you get a woman on board?
How do you get somebody to do? But anyway, no. Here again, wrong signals sent to China could escalate tensions with Taiwan. Agreed. So I'm not confident we have a commander in chief that knows dick shit about the world.
Fair.
Yeah. And I'm, right now I'm afraid of my, what my existence going to be? I mean, yeah. I mean, this guy could screw up things that will have implications throughout.
Oh yeah. Forever. For literally ever. Yeah.
By such a moron.
Agree.
Yeah.
I will be paying attention to how people view and believe science, if they do. What happens to science? I mean, we already know that disbelieving climate change
has led to what?
Destruction, floods, fires already, lacking corporate and governmental regulations.
Proof.
So it's not working. We're not thriving without believing science. So I will continue to be looking at that. Of course, I'll be looking at food and I'll be looking at body stuff. I'll be looking at ICD-9 codes and healthcare. Yeah. I want to know what is going to happen. So that's just things that my ears will be piqued. I also want to know if, like, Jillian Michaels from The Biggest Loser is going to become secretary of HHS. She was like talking to Congress about her concerns about health in this country, like her friends needing to use fertility drugs. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're just going to see how things go. I'm very interested in that. And of course, like, are we going to find a shared humanity? I'm curious about that. Did you see this coming? In the last 77 years, did you think that we'd be looking and staring in the face of fascism?
Our greatest spirit was in this, granted, war in Vietnam, but our greatest spirit of humanity in this country was between the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
It was. I mean, we were open-minded people.
Got it.
The thing about the people in charge, they didn't want this to get too far. So due to infiltration, trickery, and everything else, okay, it was able to be stopped. If you look back during the 60s and 70s, how much knowledge, for one, much knowledge there was. I mean, we were seeking knowledge, man. We were trying to find out living experiences and everything else like that. I mean, no, that was my greatest hope. That period right there was that at that point in time, that was my greatest hope for humanity. But no, and it waned away starting in the mid to late 80s. It kind of waned away. And it's never come back.
Reagan. Well, did you feel more hopeful during Obama's?
No, because Obama had a hostile, very, very hostile opposition towards it. It didn't matter what that man did. Screw you, bastard. It didn't matter. There was a great number of hostility, and even Democrats, liberals, or whatever, were not that hostile towards Bush when he was. I mean, they didn't like him. Yeah, I mean, they didn't like that boy at all. But Bush, you are kind of like president. We don't like you with the crap, but let's try to get something done. Obama came in after that, and it was no way we're going to support you at anyone. We're not going to agree with anything. That's when you saw how hostile politics or people that are in politics can be. Politics are not hostile. There's people in the politics.
Good boy, John.
Yeah.
Okay.
Politics make everything work. I mean, I even remember there was some farmer. A guy was a wealthy farmer. He was up in the northern part of California. He was in somewhere. But he loved government. He said this country would not work without it. And these people out there trying to destroy government. He said, "The hell with that." I mean, this country needs government.
This just happens to be a guy.
Yeah.
A farmer.
A farmer. Who would you think would be the most conservative person out there? Get rid of government and everything. He said no. He does not agree with that. If you want limited government, we want smaller government. He said no.
Some random guy that you met or was on the news?
Random guy that was on the news.
Oh, on the news.
And I just had to say, yes, go ahead. It cannot work. This is almost 400 million people in the billions of dollars of economy. It has to have government in order to operate. It has to.
I don't disagree.
So I mean, all these people are running around, going to, we're going to limit, we're going to cut back on government, we're going to make the government small. Bullshit. You better make it larger.
This is always so fascinating because as folks who listen here have known, the contradictory and we want less government and we want less corporate capture and the obvious friction there. I am thinking about the Elon Musk of it all, who's got his SpaceX, contracts with the government, who's got his Starlink contracts with the government, and like how he is a corporation that many people are able to connect, but it seems similar to the Trump thing. Like this guy has so much power, I want to be like him, versus this guy is literally trying to buy his like way into the presidency. Or the country, or
he's trying to buy the country.
I know. It's like
that's his ambition. Elon Musk wants to buy the US of A.
I don't disagree. And if it works, he'll buy the whole world too.
Hmm?
Yeah. It's wild to me that people don't see this. It's like blinders.
They're going to keep allowing it more in. And Elon Musk will own evil.
I agree.
Yeah. Buy the country.
I agree.
You want your problem solved? I got the money here. You got national debt. I paid off for it.
Yeah. So what do you think is something that a podcast in the 2025 of it all, what do you think would be helpful?
I think you're still going to be working. And all of these has-beens like RFK and the rest of them will have, shot their one and really not going to get anywhere. I do believe that. Whatever you want to call it. The boy's not getting anywhere.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think he's going to erode like our faith in vaccines and things?
No, because I mean that's only up to a certain. You're not going to convince me. There are a lot of people that believe in they took it, and look where we are now because these people got vaccinated. COVID is if that vaccine had not been developed, where the hell would we be now? I don't know.
All right, back to him shooting his wall. He shot it.
Yeah. He's done. I mean, he'll be just a little,
asterisks.
Yeah, a little post note or something. Whatever the hell you want to call it. Little check
appendix.
Mark.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
But as far as going and preaching anti-vaccine and stuff like that, and his level of nutrition, what does he want? Remove fluoride from water. No, your podcast is probably going to be on world. It's going to be on a lot of famine throughout the world.
Oh,
I do believe that's going to happen. I mean, you're already dealing with family in Gaza and places like that. What else would podcast be related to? The price of food and everything is going to go up.
You think so?
I do believe. I still, a lot of our food comes from Mexico. You're talking about tariffs on Mexico. It's going to just blow the free trade agreement out of the door. Poof, there's no doesn't exist anymore. The free trade agreement was mainly between Canada, U.S., and Mexico. That's going to, I guess he's going to try to blow that out of the door. So is that going to raise your food prices? Yes, it will, because a lot of your you look at a lot of shelf, a lot of that stuff comes out of Mexico. I mean, a bunch of food comes out of Mexico to the U.S. So it's, you're going to have a higher proportion of lower income people still in a dire situation because here again, we still kind of, we cast a vote for you, got you as president, and still, we're dealing with high prices. Yeah. And so that's something you might be able to do a podcast on in 2025. I mean, hey, why are these high prices still lingering?
I see where you're going. Yeah.
Well, and they'll come up with, my policies it takes time. My policy takes time to, take effect.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
I mean, it seems like the podcast bros really think this will be instant.
It's not going to be instant.
No. I am surprised to reflect and see how much this podcast has prepared me and some people to talk about this moment, to know all of the weird food and nutrition things that have been happening, to get RFK to be able to say these things and for people to believe him. That I introduced people to Make America Healthy Again just in time this last week for RFK to be interviewed about Make America Healthy Again. Otherwise, it would have been like, who is what? And I am behind the ball. But I was like, this is why this is here. So I'm hoping that I can stay ahead of the conversation and bring people along to be in. Okay, beyond RFK.
He's going to be a footnote, dude. I'm serious, boy.
There will be more conversations and problems. And I hope that I can stay ahead of that so that people are able to engage in a conversation and not be, surprised or caught behind the 8 ball. Okay, he says. Don't touch fluoride in my dad's water, and you don't want to hear about it. I'm not going to let him talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, I've been drinking fluoride ever since I started in water in 1945.
Yes, and you were born in 1932. So one thing.
Wish I was. Boy, shit, I'm born 32, but I'm still thinking yakking. Whoa, shit.
I mean, you would still be here yakking.
Dang.
You will be here yakking 15 years later. So one thing this podcast will continue to do is
keep making it awkward.
Nice.
This has been Making It Awkward. I'm your co-host, Wilson, along with Jessica. And you can support this podcast by joining the Patreon.
Do you know I put some of your videos on the Patreon?
What the hell is that?
Oh, it's what is a Patreon?
Yeah.
It's a platform where people can go on and donate. I think I have options for like $3, $5, $10, $25 a month to pay. Who do I have to pay? Who is this podcast donations subscription to my Patreon? Where's that money going?
Jen Jacobs.
There you were.
This has been edited by our good buddy Jen Jacobs, who always wins the popular vote, no matter what.
Give so it discount, is. Jen. Give this what? No. Tell people to pay so I can pay Jen more.
Pay more. I don't know what the hell's going on with the podcast. Shit. You know what? I'm just introduced to one. Since you started doing this year, got me sucked into these things. Jen, it's not your fault.
But something that you do understand.
Here's what?
A rating or a review. So people can rate.
Yeah.
Give this podcast 5 stars.
Yeah. Your star rating.
Yeah. My star rating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always had a 4.5 or something like that.
Oh, probably on Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Google rating. Yeah.
They can write a review of this on Apple Podcasts.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Do you remember that you did this a long time ago? I'll read it on the next episode. Okay. All right, people.
Wow. Yes. Just us.
Signing off.
Bye.